is November the 15th. And if you have watched before, you know on Friday, I really just like to give you an overall view of what the mortgage backed security market is doing this week, what you can look at for your interest rates for the home buyers that are maybe looking for making some offers this weekend. I know that people are excited to get under contract now and maybe close in December and get to skip their January payment and not have a payment until February. I know this time of year that's always very handy. So if you've got some shoppers, let's just dive right in and take a look at what the mortgage backed security is doing this week and what our interest rates are doing. It's been a fun week in the mortgage backed security market. But in all honesty, we are just kind of stabilizing back out in that same range that we were at about 2 months ago. So, as you guys know, if you watched last week, uh, about a month and a half ago, after the lovely 2 week rate break that we had, and remember, if you have not watched this before, this graph is the mortgage backed security market. Each day is represented by a bar. And remember, if the graph is going up here, that means that the mortgage backed security market, the bond market, is doing really well, which means that your interest rates are actually going down. So it's opposite from what the rates are doing. But if the market goes down, that means your mortgage backed securities are not doing as well. And that is when you see the interest rates go up. So we had a nice little reprieve, July, August, and even into September. But we did around that beginning of October, we saw those rates spike back up, and they continued to go up over the last month and a half or so. So this week, it's been a big week. We've had an election. I know a lot of people were kind of holding their breath and waiting to see what interest rates did after the election. And I can just say that what they did was they got a little bouncy, but then they kind of evened back out to what they were right before the election. So if you can see here, we've had a little bit of movement. We had one day, it was the day after the election, that they did get quite a bit better, but then they just rebounded right back down. So we are still sitting at about where we were last week at this time. We're still sitting in the low sevens for your 30-year fixed rate average. So if you just look up what the average 30-year fixed interest rate is for a perfect credit score, right now you're looking at about 7.3, 7.4. That is for a conventional loan. And remember, pricing, I always give this disclaimer, that's the national average for the interest rate. Please know that your pricing is going to be dependent on your credit score, on your loan amount, on the loan program that you're doing, on your debt ratio, on the type of home that you're buying. You get the idea, even where it's located. There are so many things that go into what makes your interest rate. So call your favorite mortgage banker. We will be glad to give you a quote. We are looking about the same as what we were last week around this time, really close, within an eighth or a quarter of where we were last week. So not a lot of movement from one week to the next. If you're going out there and making offers and you haven't talked to your loan officer in a month or so, make sure that you go back and talk to your loan officer. Get your clients to come back and get an updated price quote just to make sure that the pricing that they are expecting and that monthly payment that they are expecting is matching what we can actually offer right now. With that being said, our government pricing, the government bonds are doing a little bit better. So we are still in the sixes for those government. That's like your Fannie Mae, I'm sorry, your FHA, let's say that right. FHA, VA, USDA, all those government products fall in that government bond. And the national average today for a government loan is right around 6.94. So still in that high six range. Same thing goes, depending on your closing costs, credit scores, you name it. All of those things do go into your pricing for that. So that is your weekend update. Give you some forecasting for as you're out there shopping with your home buyers. As always, make sure that they have talked to their mortgage professional, gotten a really good quote. Good mortgage professionals will hold their hand all along the way to make sure that they are getting what they're expecting. That's important. Happy house hunting, and we'll see you next week.